Yeah, g'day. My name's Mick Kearney. I'm from New Zealand. My sort of background is fisheries management, PhD postdoc on that, community-based up in New Zealand and up in the Pacific, and also 40 years experience as a lifeguard, where we're talking about. So what does this matter? In New Zealand, we've got a real problem with the rock fishermen dying, okay, and it's significant. This is where I am. My surf club's just down here. Someone died just before Christmas. Literally just before I came over here, there was a really good rescue. All films from the rescue helicopter and that, which I didn't have time to put down. But what does it matter? A lot of the rock fishermen in New Zealand, they're at exposed coastlines, and there's a lot of hazards and they're getting into trouble. They're remote locations. There's no lifeguards. There's no emergency services. When you're in trouble, that's it. End of story. You've got to look after yourself. As a consequence, the fishers become the first responders, and that's what we're trying to do, is build that capability within the fishing community, and yeah, it starts with the community. So the pilot location we're looking at here is New Zealand on the west coast, a place called Piha, and there's probably about, 15 ledges like that in that space. That's a small day, by the way. It's popular for land-based fishing. The fishing can really go off when it's on. It's high energy coastline, meaning there's a lot of waves. There's an active community, and because it's quite small, we're trialling it there to expand it across New Zealand. The overall objective is just to reduce incidences and fatalities. It's that simple, and in doing so, improving the fisher preparedness, building rescue capability within the fishing community, and strengthen the resilience. And the key thing is fishers helping fishers, because, as I mentioned earlier, there's no emergency services there. There was just a recent rescue where you got the rescue chopper, same location, you see bigger surf. At times the surf's too big for lifeguards to get in, so they've got to winch people in and out. So the project overview, we've sort of got 7 key things. Is actually understanding the fishing patterns, where they're fishing, how they're fishing, where, why, how. Analysis of data, identifying dangerous zones, signage and rescue equipment, education programs, bystander rescue training, community design. Part of my role, I'm contracted to write corona reports. I've probably done 60, so as an expert witness providing advice on things to do. This location here, I was contracted for another report, really dangerous. 10 fatalities in the last 5 years, really remote. If you go in the water there, you're basically dead. So understanding fishing patterns. We're fortunate we've got a full-time fishing officer who cruises up and down the coast interviewing fishers, and then it's quite cool. We're getting some really good data there. We're also starting to jump into mobile data. So here you can see the spots. It really comes down into where people are fishing and how they're accessing sites. And even here, it's what routes they're taking to get there and where they live by the heat map. So then we can go and hit the local councils up and say, actually 66% of the people that fish in this location are coming here. These are the stats, come to the party. Also, we'll peak usage, that's like hours of the day, what days of the week, months of the year, changes over time, because there's real patterns on the fishing zone. Key thing is engagement with the fishing community and looking at the customary and recreational perspectives. So when we look at the incident analysis, our fatality data is pretty clean. So is our injury and rescue stats, but the bystander statistics, where it's either self-rescue or another fisher's helped someone, is weak. We did some preliminary research at that location last year, and 25% of the fishers we interviewed had rescued someone. So how do we get that up so more of the fishers can help that? So in New Zealand, since 1980, there have been 192 angling fatalities, of which 127 of those fishing off the rocks, so 66%. We've got some really good data coming right down. This is just the last 10 years. This is the area doing the pilot. On average, there's 5, and it's a real hot spot there. The key demographic of those who are dying, 35 to 44 Asian males, new immigrants basically, and it's a guy issue. It's guys that are dying, 98%. And we can go on, all this sort of stuff. So identifying the danger zones, like we'll get big mats, we'll sit down with the fishing community, we'll do hazard assessments and write risk reports, what you saw before, and then we can start identifying where people are fishing, the placement of public rescue equipment, where's the routes going, all of the hazards, and we put that into strategies there. Again, it's just basic things like public rescue equipment. We've been using life rings for 25 years over there. They work, but not all the time. So what we've found, like I say, I've done numerous corona reports. A lot of the time, the life ring will be there and someone hasn't used it. So why didn't the fisher not use it? They probably didn't know how to use it if they're allowed to. So that's a weakness in the strategy we've got. So part of that is the education program. So for us, where I work, we've developed a wheel and it's used in a lot of places overseas. The water competencies all around sort of 15 things. Now, if you're thinking you're fishing off the bricks, safe entry, how do you get there? But if you fall in the water, how do you look after yourself? Breath control. A lot of people, oh yeah, mate, I'm right, but they've never fallen off a rock into the water in a life jacket, in clothes, in surf. So all of these things, the training we do, we create an environment to try and build that competency within the rock fishers to keep themselves safe, of which one of them is to provide assistance to others. So we've been doing some bystander rescue training. Here's just an example here. We've just rolled this out in New Zealand. That's been going on for years, but I sat on the New Zealand Search and Rescue Advisory Panel, and now we've got other stuff on beaches, and that took 2 years to dissuade the police and emergency services. Hey, we're going into the drink. We actually had Surf Life Saving Australia over 2 days ago looking at the stuff we're doing as well. So we're working together there. The key thing for us, where our work is building resilient communities, and there's a few things there, like for us, the community development, how do we build that social capital and capacity within the rock fishing community? That's the focus of it. When we undertake our research, we engage local people to undertake local research, so it's that local knowledge. Then the education, so the programs we develop, all relevant to the rock fishers, and the big one is the engagement, making sure we're getting the right people around the table. So for us, a lot of it's community co-designed. So for us, you've got the fishing community representatives, then us, and vice versa, but the key is that information sharing. It's just not a top-down, us going, hey, you're going to do this. It's actually developing it there. So I work alongside all of these organisations. So you've got the New Zealand Sports Fishing Council. They've got 56 clubs, 38,000 members, but it's more so the links they have into retailers, sponsored fishers, brands. So we're in there. We literally just created a Hooked on Safety. This is massive. It's a standing committee where we're starting to put safety protocols into the fishing clubs and that, because it's quite weak. So I chair that committee. I obviously work for Drowning Prevention Auckland, and I used to be National Manager for Surf Life Saving, and then a lot of work with the council. So it's bringing all the stakeholders to the table. So when you look at it here, this is really simplistic. This is happening as we speak. You've got your fishing community, emergency services, water safety sector, iwi, that's the tangata whenua, local Indigenous people, the community, other stakeholders, council, funders, universities. So every one of those stakeholders has got relevant information that's valuable. And then we bring them into the, you see it here, it's real simple. They have the workshop. Share that information and take it back. So when we're doing that, we've got all the relevant people, including politicians, who are all understanding what we're doing. And that's really important from a funding perspective, and that's actually happening as we speak. So in conclusion, what we're looking for is stronger fisher safety. We've got an issue. We want to improve the rescue capability. I brought over a program from Australia called Surfers Rescue, because we did the research and surfers rescue a lot of people. Same thing, we've identified fishers rescue a lot of people, not only land-based, we've also got a project running concurrently with our boat fishers. There's a hell of a lot, that'll be published soon, of assists in rescue body recoveries undertaken by recreational fishers. So I just want to build that rescue capability and stop harm, building that resilience. Here's an example we just trialled this year. We've been doing this for years, just in shops, fishing shops, the life jacket hub. So if someone's going fishing and they need a life jacket, they can grab it. This one here is on the way to a fishing spot. So that one place there, the life jacket's been used 250 times this summer. So our fishing officer who's going along is finding it, and we've done some pretty cool rescues in that with people wearing these. So it's a work in progress, but the key thing for us is getting all the right people around the table. It's taken a lot, and it's the political aspect, working closely with elected officials, not the administrative managers. It's the actual the mayors, the councillors, local board members, when they rattle the cage, the administrators within the council act. Yeah, so that's taken a lot of time. So the key thing for us is for fishers, by fishers. That's that same spot we're talking about. I showed a few pictures, and that's someone actually fishing there. Yeah, so when they go in, there's not much chance, you know. And I've got numerous footage from the choppers and the police choppers. And a recent one was a rescue. The guy was really lucky. Big surf on a reef, tide coming in, 2 o'clock in the morning. The only reason they could get him was a heat-seeking thing on the chopper, and they winched him down and grabbed him. You know, so you can try your hardest, but some people just do silly things anyway. So, cheers.
Thanks, Mick. Great talk. Chris?
So I mean, ultimately, you're trying to prevent the loss of human life, but also pushback from people every time somebody dies, right? So what do you think is going to have more pushback if you weren't doing this program, for instance? What would have more pushback, just closing the fishing area or continuing to let people fall into it?
Yeah, so that place, Papanui Point, that one's been in the media, so they dragged me in to do quite a comprehensive report, and that's when they say, we need to shut it. So a lot of the community goes, we want it shut, but legislatively they can't because of the land manager, the Department of Conservation. There's certain legislation you can't. So there's an interesting thing, there's 4 different legal landowners around that area, access ways, farmers, different riparian strips, actual coastal space. So the complexity of it's really tricky. And one of the key things there was, if we do shut that location, it's not going to happen, but then you're going to displace fishers from one spot, and there's even more dangerous spots, you know, so it's the tricky one. For us, the recommendation I sort of made was, hey, you need to try every option before you even consider shutting things down, because it's a slippery slope once that happens. Yeah.
The life jackets that you use, are they manually inflate or
No.
self-inflate?
Yeah, no, we've gone away from that. Just foam ones. What we've found, a lot of people find it really hard to swim in, the inflatable ones. Sometimes the guys bounce off the rocks and they pop. And and the foam ones, like a lot of the hardcore guys are wearing helmets and that now. And there's sort of a little bit of coverage when you fall down. Yeah.
I have one question around this area. Are there some seasonal change regulation? Do you have or no?
Seasonal change for...
For example, the bad weather season is not allowed entry.
Oh, okay. In New Zealand, there's no licensing.
Nothing.
Yeah, you can fish whenever you like, any time of the day, whenever. Yeah. 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. Oh, and it happens.
Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. I wanted to know if there are fishers that are attracted by the fact that this spot is dangerous and goes fishing because it's dangerous and it's exciting.
Yeah, so there'll be 2 things. Definitely, you get the guys that like the isolation and the rawness of it. You'll be surprised, like guys, there's been big floods and things previously, like huge landslips, and guys start abseiling down to spots and things. Yeah, so that's definitely it. It seems to be a guy thing, this West Coast. Yeah.
Probably a naive one from me. Have they put eye bolts in or looked at eye bolts and harnessing on?
Yeah, so a lot of the local guys, and I actually saw that through, I've been talking with some of the guys from Rec, Fish West, anchor things. Some of the local guys do it, but it's a strategy that's it's all undercover. Like the local guys do it, but yeah, that's a recommendation that hasn't been picked up, but this will flow through when we create the working groups with the other fishers.
I'm just thinking in Tasmania we've got rocks like that where the rock climbers love
Yeah.
as well, so they actually put bolt holes in
Yeah.
the bottoms.
Yeah.
All right, excellent. Thanks, Mick.
Thank you.